and we can jump into the really long forecasted pitch battle. I hope you guys had brilliant hours over the last weekend, and I hope that you guys are just excited as we are to finally hear what you guys have developed or further enhanced over the last few days. Let me just give again a small framework about how this is gonna run through. You guys know when it's your time slot, we have a minor change due to, again, technical reasons. WHU is going to be the last, so you guys can now just check where you're going to be, but I'm also going to introduce you when it's your turn. We're going to start with Green Skies, as you can see. You have roughly 6 to 7 minutes. After that, the jury, which I will introduce in a bit, is going to ask you guys questions. Answer these questions as good as you can, and after that, the jury is going to go out for a few minutes and decide on the final winner for today. Moving on to the jury, again, a really big thank you from our sides for joining on this Sunday. And again, sorry for the delay. To the far left, we have Viga Nikogasian. He's a WHU alumni and currently is co-founder of Sunvio in Cologne-Bonn area. In the middle, again, Professor Dries Fams. Again, a big thank you from our side for being here. You'll know him already from the welcome speech on Friday, but for everyone of you who was not there yet, he holds the chair of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at WHU. And to the far right, we have Sebastian Klöppel. He's the current undergrad student at WHU, and prior to his academic pursuing of his bachelor's degree, he is a co-founder of Flaschengeist, which he successfully exited before WHU. Having said that, I hope you guys are ready. And I would immediately jump in and welcome Green Skies to stage. Thank you.
All right. So, hi, my name is Clara, and I will introduce you to Green Skies. So, currently, 2% of all global CO2 emissions are caused by aviation. And a key driver are fossil fuels. And exactly for that reason, the EU has implemented regulations that should tackle this problem and lower the emissions caused by aviation. 53% of this reduction should come from the use of sustainable aviation fuels. And here, EU quotas come into play. So, by 2030, 6% of all aviation fuels should be sustainable. So, we have a slight increase until 2030. But by 2050, 70% of all aviation fuels should be sustainable. So that's a massive increase within 25 years. So that's something that's really worth stressing. But that causes implementation problems for the airlines. So right now, it's still difficult to meet these set goals by EU governments. And therefore, Green Skies offers the perfect solution. So we, that's Green Skies, develop a software as a service tool that helps airlines comply with EU regulations on sustainable aviation fuels. Well, in general, we do that by tracking the airline's current use of sustainable aviation fuels and comparing it with the requirements of the regulations. What's also worth mentioning is that we also provide data on the availability of sustainable aviation fuels, because right now that's still a bit tricky. But how does this actually work? So we match the airlines with the availabilities of sustainable aviation fuels at certain airports. And here it makes sense to mention that we use a dashboard for the airline customers. And there, the airline customers can see the current and the target status on regulations. They can also track their progress on quota fulfillment, and they can see the availability of sustainable aviation fuels and the prices at specific airports. Our unique selling proposition is the predictive software. So we can do predictions which flights are prone for the use of sustainable aviation fuels. And these calculations are based on fuel costs, for example, turnaround costs, and also general overhead costs. So we can say that by using Green Skies, airlines are actually saving costs because they get a good overview over decision-making factors. And just by looking at the market, we see huge growth potential. In numbers, that's a compounded annual growth rate of 47.7%. By 2030, the sustainable aviation fuel market is expected to increase to 16.8 billion euros. Right now, we are at 1 billion. So there's a huge gap, and we see a lot of potential in between. So right now, we are still at the very early stages. And speaking of beginnings, we also have to focus on how airlines are currently solving this problem. So right now, the regulations are already in place, and this causes the implementation issues for the airlines. And of course, airlines have access to this data as well, but it's very difficult for them to bring this data together and to make fast and flexible decisions. And the second best option, of course, has to be kept in mind, but we believe that Green Skies actually offers a value added. And this value added is so tremendous that especially when the regulations get more harsh, we can provide a great value add. And here our business model comes into place. So we rely on subscriptions, and those consists of two parts. So we have a monthly subscription fee and also a performance-based model. So depending on the fuel costs, for example, on the number of flights, and also on the use of fuels. Well, however, we are literally a 3-day startup, so we are at the very early stages of our endeavor, and we have to keep in mind that we also have to validate our key hypothesis first. It's also crucial to establish partnerships with the key stakeholders. So we have to go to fuel managers, to buyers, and to operations of airlines. And we would actually be thrilled to find a test customer for a pilot phase, because then we could develop and iterate our product even further. We, that's Louis, Max, and I, are thrilled to embark on this journey. We are very excited and would be very grateful for you to reach out to us if you have someone in mind who could help us on this journey. Because in the end, it's all about compliance. Right now, airlines have to meet these regulatory requirements, but it's very hard. And with Green Skies, we can help airlines meet these goals. And in the end, it's also about combating climate change. And that's, in our opinion, a goal worthwhile. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shao. It was a beautiful, wonderful presentation. Handing over to the jury. Any questions that remain? Any uncertainties on your side?
Shall I start? My question is a bit about which is the actual pain point that you want to solve. So you nicely explained you're focusing on compliance for the sustainable fuel and that these companies need it. So from their perspective, what is actually the pain point in using their existing software solutions that they have, and why would they need a very specific solution for this particular aspect? Because I would think that they have a lot of compliance issues with a lot of things, so why would they want to have a dedicated solution for this particular problem of sustainable fuel?
Okay, so right now we are at the very beginnings of the use of sustainable fuels. So it's very tricky to get this complex regulation in a system. And the airlines do have separate systems. So each airline tracks the use of sustainable fuels differently. But we have to keep in mind that 70% in 2050 is a goal that has to be met, which is kind of tricky to reach. So we have to set up systems that would actually help the airline reach these goals even faster. And also it's about the complexity of the regulation, because it's not just about you have to use these fuels, but it's also about when to use these fuels, because it's not necessarily on every flight 100% use of sustainable fuels, but it's distributed on a lot of flights, and keeping track of that would need a dedicated software in our opinion. But thank you for the question. Anything else from your side?
what I was thinking about is you're planning software. I guess you have to do a lot of programming. Are you planning to do a no-code prototype or anything like that to to just prototype your software and try to create new functions? And what is your plan in the future?
Well, actually, so Maximilian in our team would focus on the product because he has a background also in business informatics. So I think we are quite confident about MVP. But of course, in the future, we also have to get somebody who would develop for us as well.
Any more questions? Otherwise,
I'm trying to understand. So, I mean, I do believe so. There is a huge market for green fuels, both, of course, based on the regulation and the requirements set by the EU. That's clear. So, you are trying to develop a software that enables a monitoring system that then shows you, all right, so do you reach the goals or not? So that's the idea behind that. So my understanding. Why do you focus? I mean, I can imagine there are already software or solutions to track, CO2 reduction or, questions within, whether you are sustainable or not. So what is the specific thing that really goes into your solution?
I get your question. So, of course, Green Skies would focus also on the monitoring, but as I mentioned in the pitch, maybe it wasn't quite clear, is that we also provide data on the availability of sustainable fuels. Because right now, in the worst case, somebody from the fuel management would have to pick up a phone and ask each airport separately, how much sustainable fuels are you currently having in your tanks? At which prices, and therefore we would like to implement a software which already combines this data and says, okay, at JFK, for example, there's this amount of sustainable fuels available at that price, and for the airline, it would make sense to use this fuel on the flight to Frankfurt, for example, or it doesn't make sense on the flight to Frankfurt but to Los Angeles, and that's the thing that we don't think can be mirrored in a monitoring software alone. So therefore, it would need this add-on.
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you for the questions.
Okay, thank you.
Great questions. Next up, we have Club Scanner. Also, again, big applause.
Perfect. So let's start with a quick question. Who of you ever went out partying and the evening was not just like the way you expected it to be because the music was not your vibe or like generally the vibe of the club didn't fit? So most of you. That's why we came up with Club Scanner. My name is Lucas. I'm the co-founder and we try to, we match you with the perfect location to have and enjoy your evening. To find the best place, especially smaller clubs that suit your vibe and the vibe of your group and your friends, to just enjoy your evening, be yourself, and have a great night. So therefore we aim, the alignment doesn't fit anyway. So therefore we aim for people who are new to cities, who just moved there, or maybe you and your friends who just want to have a great weekend, went to Prague, Berlin, Munich, wherever, and just enjoy your time there. You're not sure where to go because, you're not sure where you want to go because you're new to the city. So therefore you sit in a cafe, usually you should see the pictures, but apparently it's not working. Anyhow, you go on social media, you go on Google, you just search for a club and find one. And the club plays house music. And I mean, who doesn't love house music? So let's just go there. Evening approaches and you pay money for the club, for the taxi. You enter the taxi, had some pre-drinks, a little bit tipsy, enter the location, and then you see a huge line, 200 people, 300 people. You have to wait 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You get sober. It sucks. You enter the club, you have to pay money, the entrance fee. Then you arrive sober within the club, and the first thing you do is obviously you approach the bar. You go there, get a drink, and now you listen to the music for the first time. And the music and also the vibe doesn't really fit what you expected it to be. House music, yeah, obviously, but it's not the way you listen to house music or what your friends wanted to listen to. Therefore, there's a mismatch between you and the clubs, and we aim to fix this mismatch. Small clubs also have the issue, because if they don't attract the right audience, the club is empty, the vibe is not right, so they don't have really customers. No customer means no revenue for them. No revenue for them means a bad vibe in the club, and no good vibe means misbehavior of people. Becoming a whole circle, because misbehavior leads to no customers again, and therefore you are like in a downward spiral. What is our aim? We want to fix this mismatch between clubbers and clubs. Therefore, we came up with this idea of Club Scanner. We allow you to listen live to the music within the clubs, to get access to all the information, to make informed decisions on where you want to go, what you want to do, where you want to listen to, or what you want to listen to. You get access to demographics such as who's in the club, what's the age range. You get information about the waiting time. Should you go there now and be on time, wait 5 minutes, enter the club, or should you go maybe in 1 hour because the line is way too long? And with that, on the other side, the clubs have access to information. The club scene is not very well digitalized. There's no information, there's no collecting of data, so they don't really know who's in the club, who's doing what, how did they even come to your club. And with our solution, they get access to that, and they can target the right audience. People especially focus on their style of music, on the vibe they give you and people. You get access, as you can see on the prototype, to the live music. You have the locations of every club in the city, and you can know and see what you want to do. You can decide on before going there, and it's not a surprise because you already listen to the live music and know what to expect. With that said, the market opportunity. There are around 100 million people within the EU who go frequently clubbing, and 7 million alone live within Germany, and you're probably some of them. There are more than 4,000 clubs, especially below the capacity of 250 people, that we aim at because they are dying currently. And given the COVID boom, people are eager to go out. They want to party, they want to enjoy themselves and have a great weekend or evening with their friends. Who are we? We are the party experts, as you can see. Aaron is currently not here, but on the other side there's me, and we aim to fix this problem because we know the experience first, and we want to have a great evening. Don't be surprised or negatively surprised by the clubs we go to and the music we listen to, and therefore we came up with this idea. So join us and Club Scanner, and enjoy the evenings with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good pitch. Again, jury, any questions?
Sorry, I'm not a clubbing expert, so sorry for this probably stupid question, but how do you want to earn money? So
it's basically a subscription. So we want to have some of the features as premium models or premium features, so that you, for example, see the demographics paid, or that you also have to listen to advertisement before listening to the live music of the club, so that we basically earn money. It's like a freemium version for the people, and the collection of data can be later on sold to the clubs after some test phase and seeing if that's actually what the clubs need and aim for.
So it's a kind of two-sided market. So you are connecting club goers with club owners.
Yes.
Now in two-sided markets, the big problem is always the chicken or egg problem. So for club owners, this app only will become interesting if you have a lot of club goers on the app, and for the club goers, only interesting if all the clubs are on the app. So how will you address that chicken or egg problem?
That's a very good question, and for that we have a long list, and we just approach all of the different clubs. We will go to them, talk to them, have interviews, go way deeper, since this is only the result of our 3-day startup event. We want to dig deeper into it, see about each individual problem from the different clubs and their perspectives on that, and really bring value to this app, not only for customers who can listen to the music and have a benefit on that side, but also for to the clubs, and therefore give them a value they want to be part of.
How are you going to get information about, for example, the waiting time? Because it seems like one employee of each club has to implement those data into the application. What is your, how are you going to achieve that?
You can do it similarly to what Google does. You can track the location and see where people are currently at. So obviously you have to sign in and agree on that if you enter or use this app, and you can track the geo information of the people and see where they are currently standing, how long it takes for them to actually enter the club, and therefore in the end have approximately waiting times of you get a more or less approximately waiting time in the end.
But is it very precisely due to, for example, party streets like in Cologne, Zülpicher Straße, there are lots of people on the street and there are lots of bars. So is it precisely that you can say this line is for this club and this other line is for another club?
That's actually a very good point. And unfortunately, because I couldn't see all of the points on the slides here, I skipped, unfortunately, some points. And there was also one aspect, which is user-generated content. So we also heavily rely on, or not heavily rely, but have as an add-on and feature that people can actively participate in the app. So for example, if you are in the club, you can upload pictures, videos, whatever of the club, or give a live feedback, review, upvotes, downvotes, whatever. And this would also be a feature you could add. So if you stand in line, you can say, okay, I'm waiting 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and help other people, therefore, to know how long they have to wait.
Thank you very much. And big applause. Okay, let's move on to the next presentation, the hanger. Why is it so?
Oh. Can I use my laptop? Because I definitely need the presentation. Do you have a dongle? Yeah, you do. Okay.
We just merged the PDF. It's really weird.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe both.
Yeah, I definitely need the presentation.
You have a Mac, right?
Yeah, do you want to use this?
It does, but it doesn't. You can try it, but
I'm an 18-year-old high school student from Baden-Baden. Today, I'm here to present to you an innovative passion product solution for widespread issue. With this idea, I won the Jugendgründet startup competition last year. Imagine this. You go into your closet and you want to hang your garment. For example, this turtleneck. What do? Well, you might try to get through the top, but that would stretch it out. And you really don't want to destroy your clothes. So you turn it around, fiddle through the bottom, and it gets all stuck. Well, this is so frustrating. And I thought to myself, there must be a better solution. That's why I invented the hanger. The hanger is a foldable coat hanger that allows you to simply slide it through the top, fold up the arms, and click its hang externally. And taking it off is even easier. All you do is click the buttons, and the garment slides off elegantly. Well, you might think to yourself, this is a cool idea, but who would this be for? The B2C customers are people of the emerging upper middle and upper classes. People that have spending income and that want to enhance their individualized lifestyles. They're frustrated with everyday issues and that are useless and annoying. The hanger offers a solution. The hanger enhances an annoying experience into an elegant product. There's also B2B applications. Imagine this. You're going into a boutique and you see the hanger somewhere. Some employee is using it. This immediately catches your eye and you associate this innovative solution with the brand. This also raises the brand's value automatically. And the hanger is excellent as a promotional gift. If you buy, for example, an expensive shirt, most of the time, the coat hanger is given with it as a goodie. Well, imagine you get this thing. This would be so much cooler and the brand is forever ingrained in your mind. We plan on producing the hanger out of high quality materials such as wood and metal. And this combined with an elegant and modern design puts the brand positioning in the premium and luxury segment. Through the modular design of different pieces, the hanger is able to be highly customizable and individualizable. You can see here an example of a design that I made for the Brenners Parkhotel in Baden-Baden, where I worked for 2 years. You can see the special glossy finish that I added to it, that represents also their company style and their colors, green and gold. And obviously also the logo that can be engraved or printed on it. Well, how do I protect my idea? I've applied for a patent for this mechanism, and no one can copy it in that way. When I first created this product, there was nothing else like this out, and I was surprised by that. All they were foldable coat hangers that fold upwards for storage. These are travel hangers. Nothing that matches this function. How do I plan on funding this? Well, I've talked to a lot of different boutiques and hotels. And what they're telling me is they'd be interested to support a product if it's in a stage that's actually usable. And then they'd also be open to pre-ordering products in order to finance the production. I plan on bootstrapping as much as possible to get to a finished product. And then I also want to get some startup grants from the state to support this endeavor. In the second year, I want to continue into the B2C segment. And there, I want to use a Kickstarter campaign in order to finance that. In the third year, my aim is to get an investor on board in order to increase B2B and B2C sales. Right now, I'm looking for a co-founder to make this product a reality, preferably someone with sales and marketing expertise. Help me make an annoying hassle into an elegant experience. The hanger.
Any questions?
Many thanks, great idea. So I understand you have a patent for this.
Yes.
That's cool. Do you think this is, even if you have a patent, something that someone could copy in a different way?
Yeah. So I think this makes, as you said already, this mechanism is not copyable because of the patent.
Yeah.
But there are ways to make it different. For example, I've also created a different mechanism right here.
Yeah.
That works in a similar fashion by pressing buttons. But I've tested different mechanisms, and I've come to this realization this is the best one because it doesn't damage your clothes as much. There are others that, for example, use spring-loaded, and that could maybe tear on your garments that are more sensible.
Is the patent already granted, or is it an
No,
application?
it's application right now.
Where did you do it? Germany?
Germany right now, but as soon as I then fund and as soon as I incorporate, then I plan on applying for patent grants in order to make an EU-wide patent. Then.
Okay, and why Kickstarter? I always have the feeling that Kickstarter is something for losers.
Well, firstly,
if you're kind of completely desperate, then you go to Kickstarter. But I hope you're not that desperate.
well, I'm trying to get the Kickstarter is not just about selling the product, but also creating a community later on for online sales. And anyway, I want to do mostly online ads for the Kickstarter, and I can use that then later to go onto my website for then direct sales.
Do you already know where you're going to produce it and what are the production costs?
Yeah. So as I said, I'm thinking about wood and metal. I'm not exactly sure yet what materials I'm going to use. If I produce in wood, I'm thinking a production cost somewhere in 3 to 6, 7 euros, something like that. And production would be somewhere low cost for the raw material production, or the first parts would maybe be China, Eastern Europe, something like that. And then the manufacturing closer to home, Europe, or maybe even Germany, so you can say assembled in Germany, something like that. Because it's a luxury premium product to place it there.
All right, thank you very much. Once again, sorry for the... Next up, we have plant salt. Big applause.
Hi, we are plant salt. There's actually a quotation by the World Health Organization which states, "We have a huge salt problem. Millions will die without taking action." And this is because we consume far too much salt. Exactly 99% of the world population consume far too much salt. And 30% have problems with hypertension, which is high blood pressure. And this leads to a big problem. 10% of all deaths are related to salt overconsumption. And it's almost impossible to avoid it. If you go in the supermarkets, it's everywhere. It's in bread, it's in cheese, it's in processed meats, snacks, and ready-made meals. And this is also a big problem because everybody of us with a global average salt intake has an 80% higher chance of getting cardiovascular diseases such as hypertension. And we also made a survey and figured out that 30% of the people also have watched like their salt intake, and 70% actually would pay more for healthier alternatives. And it's the right timing now. It's best opportunity because actually the WHO has as a main target now, as a high priority, to reduce the salt content in food by 30% till 2025. And the good thing is the German food manufacturers jumped on board. So they also try to reduce it now. And another interesting fact is 2% of the total treatment costs in Germany are related to salt overconsumption. And this brings us to our solution. We have invented the first healthy plant salt on the market. Now I will show you how it looks. We actually have the Saliconia plant. It goes all around the world on the coastal regions. It's a pioneering plant. And we also identified a specific algae, which is our trade secret. And I dig a little bit deeper. On the bottom, you can see the Saliconia farm. And this plant actually has about 40% of salt inside the plant. And in the round picture, you can see our algae. And interesting fact, when you dry it, it actually sweats out potassium chloride. And there's the trick, because the WHO says a healthy salt should contain 50% potassium chloride and 50% sodium chloride. And when we mix our two salts together, we have exactly that mixture. And that brings me to the go-to-market business model. So we will definitely start with B2C. We want to build a great community and generate awareness and really empower the customer to drive the change towards the food industry and convince them to put our salt in their food. And we can also leverage the supply chain. So we'll start with €6 for 100 gram B2C. That's comparable to just spices. And then slowly leverage the supply chain up to €5 per 1 kilogram. And looking into the B2B market potential, we want to have at the beginning a little nap. So that's about 170 million. And then really deep dive into the markets. And there's a nice CAGR of 5.3% in the next 10 years. And our goal is really, you can see it here, to bring our trademark onto the food. Because the main problem right now is food manufacturers try to do it, try to bring down the salt content. But it's really difficult because they can't really advertise it. The thing is they try it. So if you go in the supermarket, you can see every few months, okay, 1-2% less salt. And they track it and really look for customers who go away because of this. They're really scared because you can't just write on the package, reduce salt or no salt. That works when we speak about it, but the customer in front of the supermarket won't buy it. He will just take something else. It doesn't work if you say reduction. But with our superior trademark and our superior salt, we give the B2B manufacturers a USP to actually compete in the landscape. Yeah, and looking at the competitive landscape, of course, B2C, you have just spices, you also have web, which is vital, like say salt, it's a little bit healthier, but it's chemical. But making a deep dive into B2B, you see, we have really a high brand potential because we are plant-based and our competitors are like chemical-based and customers don't like chemical salt. And also we are very sustainable because our salt is made of plants and we don't harm the environment. Also, when you look like water crisis, climate crisis, we have high water levels, rising water levels. Our plant is a pioneering plant and it's protection against water rising levels. And also, a lot of farmers in third world countries have problems with losing their farmland due to salinization. And our plant actually protects this. It gives the farmers new opportunities to build plants on this lost farmland. Going further, our next steps is actually we want to get traction now. So we want to pre-sell our B2C product, leverage it, build a really nice community. Then apply for scholarships, get first money, leverage our contacts, and then do the fine-tuning actually in cooperation with RWTHA Aachen or independently food labs. And the next step would be seed fundraising to actually sell our first B2C products and then start off product development with B2B manufacturers next year. Yeah, small deep dive in the financials. Actually, it's very important for us to track 2 KPIs with the B2C. We want to have community size and also NPS because we want to have a happy community and then take these numbers, go to the B2B manufacturers and say, hey, look, our customers really want to have our salt in your food. And that gives them like another UP. And if we do that, actually, we will look then for MRR, revenue growth rate, and also customer acquisition cost. Yeah, and this is our team. So I will start with Franziska Nolte. She's our food technologist. She actually made her bachelor and her master and was always the best of her class, worked in a startup, worked in 2 different food and manufacturing companies, and is really keen about driving the future in food. Then we have Lucia. She's sitting over there. She's our financial and marketing guru. She worked at Statista with a lot of numbers, at Bayersdorf, strategy and marketing, and also had all the time her own B2C brands. Yeah, and I'm like the operations dude. So I started as Cronus. It's a leading food machine manufacturer. So I traveled around the world as a service engineer, 25 countries. Went then into the pharma lobby and continuous improvements. Yeah, that's mainly like you go around to production and improve everything. And after my studies, went into consulting and factory planning and production efficiency. And we really think with that team, we can make this idea happen. So, and final words, we really want to empower the end customer. So your voice matters. So together we can really change the food industry. We'd be really happy if you raise this again and help us with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the pitch. Jury, questions?
So I like the idea. I mean, in principle, it's always good to replace bad food, so to say, unhealthy food with a healthy food. That's great. I just have one case in mind that goes in that direction. Probably you know Coke Green stevia replacement, so the replacement of sugar with stevia.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
No, because of the taste, obviously.
That's exactly where I'm going to. So the question is to me, so salt is about taste, right?
Yes.
So, and I love salt, and I love the taste.
Yeah.
So, are you sure you can replace the salt with that product with the same taste?
Yeah, we're really sure about it. So we have like 2 competitors in B2B, and they actually make a chemical. So they also like take like potassium chloride and take like sodium chloride and mix it. It's actually the same formula, but they also work with enzymes and stuff like this with a plant-based stuff. You have to say when you use potassium chloride, when you make sensoic with machines, it will say, okay, maybe there's like a bitter taste or something. But we tried it with a lot of people and nobody actually saw the difference.
Really?
Yeah. And of course, when you go to food manufacturers, they know about this. You have to argue with them. And that's why we took some food technologists inside who can actually talk to them and say, hey, look, our salt is superior. Yeah. So even if it tastes a little bit different, nobody will realize it's still superior against everything else. So we think we can really do it with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, maybe about intellectual property protection. So, what makes you unique to do it? Okay, so you have a slide. So go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
So we have actually the whole production process. So I spent like 100 hours developing that. There was a patent like 26 years ago from a small Indian institute, but nobody did it. And they did it with salicornia only. So we know it works with salicornia. And also the algae actually, it sweats out the salt. So we just take it and mix it. So we know the production process works, and we made it a little bit better because we can now mix it and have like different mixtures. And that likes actually the food, for the food is perfect because we can switch it a little bit. Also, we spoke to VSL patent attorneys, and they said, yeah, they are really impressed. We can definitely make a product and a manufacturing patent. And also, in the long term, we identified another algae, which is really cost effective, but that's novel food. So we want to do it in the middle term to actually leverage the supply chain and the cost. And yeah, obviously we have this plant soil trademarks, so we want to protect that. And I think, yeah, all this together is a good IP protection.
And did you already explore, so if I understand, so what you will offer composition is a bit different than real salt. Could there be other health risks?
You have, like with every, I don't know, you have a lot of salts. So in this case, you have potassium and you have sodium. Sodium is really worse. So it's the biggest problem, I believe. The good thing is, when you have potassium, it's the opponent. So they normally play together in the real nature. But yeah, because we want to have cheap salt, we just take like sodium. So say it like this. If you take normal salt and you will eat like handful straight into it, you will die. With potassium, you will need 2 hands to die. So you will die first from the normal salt, and then you will die from our salt. But I mean, you have to, nobody will do that, you know, like, yeah. So there is definitely a risk, but normally.
I mean, the risk is that if you take one of your salt, that maybe you don't die like you died from not, but that you would die from something else.
No.
Like it's also with the stevia and these things where now they seem to be causing cancer that nobody anticipates.
We checked that. So if you grow that plants actually in environments which are, I don't know, full of heavy metals and stuff, you will have heavy metals inside. Yeah. But we figured out where you have like really good water, where you have good soil, and we will track that. So it will definitely be very, very less. And it's even worse actually when you take it out of the soil or out of the sea. So for example, if you have fleur de sel nowadays, it has so much microplastic inside. I can't even tell. It's like 5% or something. So that's like really worse. In our case, we can really track how it is and what is inside there.
Okay. So first of all, I really like this idea, but it seems like a food trend or like trend food. What would happen if World Health Organization changes its advice to consume less salt, or maybe some scientists find out sodium is way better than potassium? You should consume a different mixture of salt. What would happen to your company?
I am very sure that will not happen because all the numbers we took is from Harvard, and there's very much research behind there. So it's definitely clear that it's just, if you take potassium, it's much better than actually sodium. And you could also say that like glutamate is better than sodium. Sodium is just, let's say, shit. It's really not good, but it's cheap. So that will not happen. They will, of course, say, okay, we have to make this salt less, but we will do it with our salt. Because when we have like 50% sodium inside and the rest is potassium, and you put it inside the food, there's a reduction of 50%. So, yeah. And let's say it another way, if you make bread or you make cheese, you need some kind of sodium, because you need it for the production process. You need it for good bacteria, you need it that the bread bakes good, like fluffy or stuff like this. So you can't take it away fully. Yeah, and we talked to some experts from Bundesministerium für Gesundheit and some insurers, and they're all like, okay, that's a really great idea because we don't know how to get it down. Yeah, I'm really sure that will not happen.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. Good backup slides there.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Cheers. All right, next up we will have ACT. Big applause again.
I think we have to mix up the technology a bit because we planned something
try it, for
with
sure.
our own. Let's see. Okay. So thank you everyone. Thank you for your patience. So my name is Maria, and I want to present today to you ACTS. And let's start with the question: who of you loves going out and doing cool and fun activities with their friends? Yes, everyone. And that's how our team came together. Stefan and Daniel and me, we are all people who are passionate about being with friends and acting. But we were a bit annoyed by the current solutions. We're coming to the problems in a second. Yes. We were annoyed by the current solutions. So we were dreaming. We were dreaming together in the past 3 days and thinking about how could we revolutionize the way we act. And we came up with a solution that offers high quality activities, is personalized and easy to use. But let's start with the problem. What is the problem? So we have Jan here. Jan is frustrated. He's frustrated because he doesn't know where to look for activities. He doesn't know when to find time slots with his friends. He doesn't know which activities to do because there are so many different ones and there are bad information. Somehow, there's no price to it. The star recommendations are not very reliable. I mean, all know it. There's an activity has 5 stars, and you think, oh my god, that's so cool, and you go there and it's a total flop. It's too expensive. Jan is a student, so how should he pay for an activity, an escape room that costs 50 euros? And maybe the weather is bad, and he wanted to go out with his friends and go mini golfing, and now the weather is bad. What does he do? In this case, usually we had interviews with different type of people, and we found out they either Google, they don't do anything, just chill, or they don't even meet up, and that's so sad. And that's where we could reduce 3 problems for people like Jan. The first one, it's hard to organize group activities. Then the second one, they're missing and intransparent information, and there's just information overload, which leads to planning activities, doing activities being really frustrating. On the activity provider side, we have the problem that complex or there are completely manual booking and bookkeeping structures, which make it really hard for the provider to plan, to have like a good internet overview and for people to like easily book activities. The other part is that they have a very competitive and expensive market environment, so it's hard to compete with different escape rooms, for example, and to like be the winning escape room. And the last one is that they just have also a problem of customer acquisition. Our solution is ACT. We want to bring the users and the platform providers together on our platform. And how does it look like? This is the reason why I wanted to connect my computer. We already built a really cool website. Yes. Basically, ACT's goal is to help people to find their perfect activity. We already went through these points, and this is how ACT looks like. So basically, we have the first feature, which is like, it's in German now, but I'm just going to translate it in English. So we have the first feature that's about transparent information, activity sharing. So basically, you can find your suitable activity and find all information regarding to this activity. For example, what is the average price people pay? And then also how many free time slots are there? How do you have friends in your surrounding that already recommend this activity? The second point is relevant filter solutions. So basically, you have the filter that helps you to find activities for your group size. If you're 3 people, you do different activities than when you're 10 people. And then you have also the average price you can filter for, like how much does everyone want to spend in your group on average. You can put that in. And last but not least, you can like also decide which mood are you in. You want to do something sporty or something chill. You can all find this, filter this in ACT and find like different activities you can choose from. And the last and coolest function is that you have rabatt and coupons that you can choose from. So if activity providers have, like, for example, times like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and the bowling is free and they want to get more people in house, they can just send over ACT a pop-up saying, hey, everyone, we have a cool price reduction for this and this time period. If you come now, you can save 30% on your next bowling. And this way they can also, the user has a benefit and the provider has a benefit, and bring both together. Exactly. Who's the team behind ACT? How I already mentioned, the team is on the one hand side, Stefan, he's our CTO. He studied informatics and has a very strong technical background. Me, myself, I'm more the seller talent. I worked at Salesforce for 3 years and studied dual there, and now I'm at WHU. And then we have Daniel, who's currently studying marketing with a focus on social media and is perfect for branding ACT to the outside. Our next steps, because we are this is a very fresh idea. The team met the first time here, is to basically now validate on the provider side which benefit we can really provide to them. Then we want to develop a prototype, test a prototype, and then launch our products. Exactly. Thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Please, Julie.
So it seems like you're creating a lead group for activity providers, but I didn't really understand fully how are you going to earn money with it, because my thoughts are, is it possible for activity providers to upsell to be first place? Are you doing a premium model? Are you planning on doing ads?
It's a very good question, we couldn't dive really deep into the provider side in the past 3 days. That's why, of course, there are existing models, for example, Lieferando, that was inspiring, or like a nail studio platform that helps new nail studios and hairdressers to book appointments and get customers that have different different ways of earning money. So we could imagine a fee-based model. This is also what we had in the other slide. And then we could also imagine like over a product that's really helpful for the provider, for example, like a appointment booking tool to earn over that money and then generate on the other hand side also customers. That's like two options that we had in mind, but we're still going very open towards this topic because we know there is a demand. So that's what we also figured out in our interviews. There's definitely on the user side a demand for like finding activities faster and better and easier. But the problem is they're not ready to pay for it. So we want to find out how providers are ready to pay for it. And we know that there are problems, but we have to dig deeper into these problems. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're definitely not the first one to think about it. So
Yeah.
if you do Google search, you immediately find 10 different apps that do exactly the same. So first of all, what is your kind of differentiation? And second, if I look at the apps on Google, they all seem to fail because like 3 of them, the link is even not working anymore. So that shows that maybe they're not that successful. So what have you actually learned from these failure cases? What would you do different?
Very, very good question. So I think the first point is we are a very strong and diverse team, which is very important with this topic, that you have different skill sets. I also met a lot of founders developing apps in this area, and they were like either very technical or very business focused. The second point is also the focus of the apps. Like these apps were focusing on organizing events, finding appointments within friend groups, but they weren't thinking of this platform view that they bring provider and users together. And the third point is, I think this is something like a Lieferando concept, basically, that you need to have first a critical mass, and you have to invest a lot of money at the beginning to get providers onto your platform until it really gains momentum and value. And I think this is also a point where a lot of platforms fail because they didn't have enough money to gain this critical mass, and that's where we would also be different. So if we notice that we get traction on our platform, we notice the value for the provider and for the users, then we would also do this over, like this is definitely a VC case, so we would also get VC money for it. Yeah.
Thank you. That was actually exactly my question. So as a platform, you need a certain size. And my question was, how do you want to approach this? So how do you want to get offerings on your platform at the same time as demand?
Very good question. So like, of course, we don't have like the complete details because we don't have like the understanding for the provider side, but we noticed based on our interviews that it's actually quite easy to get the users. If you just offer a nicer solution to TripAdvisor or Google Maps, then the users will come through advertising on social media and just having a good product. And the provider side is more of a challenge, and I think here we just have to, on the one hand side, find out how can we deliver a real value for the providers, but on the other hand side, also like find the right first adopters, collaborate with them, and then like build up this momentum that you have to be on our platform if you want to get customers.
All right, thank you very much. Big applause.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Matthias. Until the age of 19, I was a semi-professional skier. And from then on, I went skiing regularly several times a year. Due to COVID, you may all realize that it was really hard for us to get into the ski resorts, and it was difficult because they were not able to open. In the season 21-22, the state officially announced, yeah, you are open, you are able to open the ski resorts again. And I was directly searching, the first snow was falling, and I was searching on my favorite ski resort in the German Alps if they are able to open. What I then learned, because the website says still closed, what I then learned was that the ski resort is not able to open because of staff shortage. This was a tremendous problem for the resort, and I offered my support. I really liked the region, and I wanted to give something back. I went into social groups and Facebook and said, job offer, you work in a ski resort part-time, you have a great time over there. And what happened 2 weeks after my first posting, the first people went into the area, and the ski resort at the end was one of the most successful resorts in the area because they were able to open, they had enough stuff. What I realized after the season closing is that people started calling me, and I became the guy with the young people in Germany. First of all, I always tried to get rid of this request, but then I realized staff shortage is one of the most economic risks for the travel industry in Europe. It's tremendous. They expect 1.2 million unfilled positions within the next couple of years. We at WHU solved this by engaging and creating a community of young people who want to explore new places, gain once-in-a-lifetime experiences within a community, and at the same time, we solve the staffing issue of our customers. We work mainly with premium hotels in the 4-star, 5-star segment, and what we have is like super motivated young staff, and we have a really problem solver here. We already created within 1 year a huge community of young people who are really, really willing to travel into the most beautiful regions in Europe. This is how we actually brought them, by creating social media content, which just went viral 2 months ago, and there's no sound, okay? But this is basically how we attract the young people, the young target group. And what we have at the end is super motivated staff supporting the kitchen, service, housekeeping, kids club, and all of that. Customers like Schloss Elmau trust in us, and we have a solution. The first year we did MVP approach, like our manual testing. We did manual matchmaking, but of course the goal was from the beginning to create an automated matching platform which enables young people to find suitable jobs for them, being there for 6 to 8 to 3 months, 6 to 8 weeks to 3 months. And on the other side, really make it easy for businesses to recruit staff that they are still not able to recruit any longer. This is how we do it. We just created and put all our knowledge that we gained through the last year into really smart software development. We have a so-called black box application. So the people just tell us they want to go to the seaside, they want to go to the mountains or into cities. And this makes us possible to like going through our algorithm and provide them offers that really fit their needs. We find the perfect matches. We have traction of 1 year. We have right now more than 5,000 registered users. On the other side, we did like limited ourselves, artificial to be honest, to 65 businesses that we work with, because we needed to gain knowledge and we needed to understand what is important in the matching process of the two-sided marketplace that we are facing. We already completed more than 250. Okay. We already completed more than 250 or 270 successful transactions. The average stay is 6 weeks. We had a tremendous user growth starting after one of our Instagram reels just got viral. We have more than 2 million views, but the user growth was tremendous for us. It was enormous. We had more than 200% of user growth within the last 6 weeks. Our socials also rose by this hype. We got a lot of new followers on Instagram, but this led to a tremendous scale on our platform. We already received the funding in a pre-seed round, so actually 2 pre-seed rounds around 450K. Right now we are collecting more money, around 500K. And our revenue in 2023 was around a little bit more than 100,000K, manual matching with 1.5 people doing the actual matching process. Our average basket size is around $500 per transaction. And if I show you the 1.2 million positions unfilled in the tourism industry in the next couple of years, we assume that we will be able, within our network and with the references we already created, to penetrate around 1% of that total addressable market. That would mean only in Europe, only in the sector of tourism, this is a zero market that we address, because also other part-time industries or part-time job in other industries are interesting for us, would be approximately 12,000 positions that we will fill in the next couple of years by working. If we do the numbers, the calculation here, we will have an expected monthly revenue of around 4.5 million euros. And we see that there's a huge potential. We have a really nice software already built. It's going to be up online in the next couple of weeks, and we are really excited to see where it's going. We have different points which makes our business model attractive. I won't go into detail here. We did, of course, at the beginning, 1.5 years ago, a really deep dive into the competitive analysis. We have a strong team of founders. It's me. I have a background as a psychologist and strongly in sales and product development. My co-founder, Johan, a strong background is in marketing and designing and building brands. And our tech guy, Sebastian, who is a specialist programming since he's 12 years old. We already have a lot of team members, full-time and part-time, and our investment board is already good. We have one AI specialist, Dr. Norbert Pfleger. He just sold his company to Carriot, the IT daughter company of VW. Airbnb, Guy Benno Heidgar, one of the early Airbnb employees, complete market expert for two-sided marketplaces. And Melanie Unklas-Mummert, who is running a family business in the traditional stuffing area. Also, Frank Helsig, who's a professor and expert in pricing, and sister and brother Sabine and Hannes Niederwieser, business owners from the northern Italy part. And we are already part of the Microsoft Startup Program. We are part of the CMS Startup Program, and we were announced as an impact startup at Web Summit in Lisbon last year. Let's shape the future of work and travel, and I'm really happy to answer your questions.
Thank you so much. Jury, any questions to this rather advanced startup today?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I mean, you are far beyond just pitching an idea. So you are already in the execution phase. You are already in the market, and you are getting revenues right now. So from that perspective, it's a little bit unfair, so to say, to have you in this competition. But great idea, huge impact, I would say. I'm not really sure why you are. I would be a little bit more bullish. So you're trying to capture 1% of the market. Well,
it's conservative.
It's not that ambitious. So I would suggest to gain more, let's say, of market share.
Yeah, maybe from my side, also more a question out of curiosity. So what would you see as the added value for you for this event? So why did you decide to participate?
We were asked to come here. We are sitting in the TCK, the Technikzentrum in Koblenz, and they asked us if we want to take part in here because you're great mentors, and I really want to thank you, Nathan. I had really great sessions together with him. I already asked upfront if it's okay for us to also pitch, because we know that we are in a different state and we had a lot of pitches in these days. They said it's not a disadvantage. So yeah, and of course it's for us also good to get your questions. So I'm really eager to answer everything that came to your mind.
My only critical question that I could come up with is like, of course, because you aim for the premium segment, so how do you do kind of quality control of the people that want to do this? Because people might think they are suited to perform in a 4 or 5 star hotel, but not everybody can do that. So it's that kind of quality control.
Yeah, maybe just to sum up, like really briefly, what the onboarding process of the work case looks like. So they apply, they give us already a lot of data because they want to travel. So that's a really good point for us, of course. Then if they did the application, they will receive automatically matches based on our algorithm, that the matching algorithm that fit to them, like 100%, 60%, 50%. Then they can have a look into the anonymized Steckbriefe, and then they can request a match if they are already verified, because we have people in the last year who traveled like 4 times with us to different locations. So we already have the verification of these people. But if they are new to the organization, they need to book themselves a qualification call. We have a standardized interview that takes around 8 minutes, face-to-face interaction. And we make sure that we ask all the questions. We also, I'm a psychologist as background, so I obviously created that interview guideline. And we also rate them on some personality skills. And then we say, okay, it's a go, it's a no-go. We create or we publish our values. We see if that fits, and then they go through. Of course, we will do an A/B testing in March, April, to see if we can also automate that interview with some AI interview tool that is already in the market. Yeah, that's how we do it, and we had like really good successes. 4 to 5 days they need in average to get into the processes on board, which was like super for us because we didn't expect that, even in the premium segment. And yeah.
So first of all, I think it's a really great idea. In the beginning, I thought, what makes you special in comparison to other work and travel businesses or agencies? But when you showed up the slide, which are your USPs, actually my only critical question were cleared during the presentation. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Maybe if you allow me to nevertheless answer on that, because of course that's important, and we follow a so-called work location approach, which means whenever we go into one location, we try to onboard as many businesses as possible in that area to make sure that we create local communities of workers. We connect these people, and so we pay also into the loneliness of Gen Z, which we actually can observe in these days. Then we create like experience. They get to know each other already before traveling to the area, and this makes it like really lively and really engaging for them. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. So, in regard to the presentations, we are done. Really, really insightful. Thank you to all the participating teams who really created something unique today or over the last 3 days. Really, really enjoyed it. And I hope that our visitors here today also enjoyed it, and also online. The next steps would be the jury can leave the room for a few minutes, discuss the winners' top 3. Then I will shortly present what the winners actually can potentially get. And I will announce the winners then. And if everything works out as we planned, we will be done by 2 o'clock. Thank you so much, and see you in a bit. So please find your seats. So there we can, yeah. Looking forward to the winner's reaction. All right. So before I go into the prizes that the winners can win, let me first say, okay, you are out of the debate because out of fairness, I hope you understand. Okay. Who's number 3? yeah. And the third place this year goes to Item Drop. Big applause. Okay, now the first 2 spots, prizes involved. Let me introduce. The second spot will get a workshop by Estella Wormbeler in regard to systematic neuroperformance, plus a workshop from Jobs Consulting, the consultancy you heard yesterday. Very flexible in that sense. Just reach out to him. He has knowledge in strategy, mission, and stuff. Second place. For the first place this year, we have a venture capital workshop planned for you, organized by Capnamic, and a branding and design workshop by Marpa Baraga. Okay. And the first place this year's Three-Day Startup 2024 goes to Plansalt. Please demonstrate. Some picture time. Congratulations. Please, your stage. Again, please, big applause. Well done. No worries. Okay. Yeah. The second place this year with the workshop by Estella and by Jobs Consulting goes to The Hanger. Okay. Okay, congratulations. Yeah, thanks. Really nice idea. Keep going. I bet in the excitement, I nearly forgot about the second spot. Okay, some final words. I can just say on behalf of the entire team, it has been lovely 3 days with all of you. Really loved how all of you really were committed. Some of the teams, or most of the teams yesterday, midnight, still sitting upstairs and finalizing things. Really nice to see this commitment. Really enjoyed to organize this event with my team. Special thanks to our sponsor Auric, to the university, to each faculty staff that helped us organize this event. A big thanks to the mentors taking their time to coming to Campus Fallenda. We know it's a bit deserted. Again, special thanks to the jury and of course to all the participants who came to Fallenda and participated in the event. And of course now I would like to also thank the entire team who organized this year's 3-Day Startup Bootcamp 2024. So please, a big applause to the team. Please come and stay. And of course, the team is not complete without our little helpers, the creatures. So please also welcome the creatures on stage. A big applause. Thank you so much. Yeah. Once again, thank you for coming, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And this is the official end of this event. Keep networking. We're going to be around a bit. Yeah, thank you, and have a safe trip back. Of course, picture time. All of you who want to have professional pictures, you can come to us.